And welcome back to the week of Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win first off comes to us from Mr. Balance, who asked the question, who would win a fight? Sasuke and Naruto versus Dante and Vergil from Devil May Cry. So it's been a little while since I've actually used my script book to actually write things down, but I figured this is one of those ones where I kind of had to do it. And it's because I don't want to say I have gotten like people being like, oh, you're terrible, but I have definitely gotten pushback from one of these fandoms before. Actually, I've gotten pushback from both of them, but particularly the Devil May Cry fandom. Because there's a lot of people who say, oh, Dante and Vergil and Dante anyway, is like hyper-versatile and all that. I'm like, wait, what? And so I actually had to go and look into their actual feats and levels of power. So let's get into this real quick. Obviously, we have Naruto and Sasuke. Let's break it down bit by bit. First off, if you don't know Sasuke and Naruto's lore, read a manga. As for Dante and Vergil, they are the sons of the devil, demon known as Sparta. I can't remember if Vergil's a full demon, but Dante's a half demon, and he's the lead character of the Devil May Cry series for the most part. He's a demon hunter. He is a skilled demon hunter. He's kind of personality-wise, he's kind of weird because it goes a little back and forth depending on the game, from what I remember. But he's generally a pretty carefree, kind of happy-go-lucky guy who doesn't take anything overly seriously until he absolutely has to. But that said, let's get into it. So let's just go with your basic stat lines first and foremost here. Physicality to physicality. Strength to strength. Like physical strength versus physical strength. This already is kind of a weird one because in just base to base, Vergil and Dante have that edge in hands down. Dante's been able to block shots from giants without any difficulty. It's all well and good. Except if you want to max Naruto and Sasuke out to their umpteenth degree, you then are including Kurama Enhanced Power, Kurama's Chakra Form, then Susanoo. So you have that strength to go off on. But then you have to factor in the Devil Trigger, which allows them to basically use their full power, Dante and Vergil. Ultimately, it either goes roughly even or the edge is not probably by a large margin, but by a margin, goes to Dante and Vergil when it comes to physical strength. When it comes to durability, once again, this is something that Vergil and Dante have easily over Naruto and Sasuke. While being ninjas in that world, they definitely have a bit more durability because I think the reason they were able to survive some shit they shouldn't survive is due to chakra. Enhancing your body with chakra, being wrapped in chakra cloak. Decent training, sure, but still, we've seen that these guys can get pierced, stabbed, crushed without any real difficulty. At the same time, though, when they're enhancing their bodies with their chakra, they can take a lot more hits. And when they're actually like wrapped in, say, a chakra cloak or, Susanoo ribs, they can take a lot more damage. But if we're just going by their actual physicality, Dante and Vergil can literally survive impalements, near decapitations, and they have massive enhanced regeneration. They also just have naturally better stamina as well. They're just not physically beyond these two. The speed feat speed and reflexes specifically was a really difficult one because we know Sasuke and Naruto are well beyond light speed at their peak. That's proven by Madara throwing the light fang technique at them and it being revealed that it moved at the speed of light. And Naruto dodged it. He dodged it without any real difficulty, to be honest. And we know that wasn't their peak. So it gets a little tricky to ask how much faster Dante and Vergil are, if they are faster at all. Well, looking into their speed, it does become apparent that when they were stuck in this pocket dimension that was created by Mundo, I think that was his name, or hold on, I'm going to get that guy's name up here. Speed feats. What was it? What was the name of the guy who made the universe that they were fighting in? Mundus. Yeah, just to read the cinematic opening of Devil May Cry 3. This is from a Reddit thread, but someone actually is talking about it. It's stated by the creator of Devil May Cry 1 that Dante and Mundus literally fought in outer space in a universe that Mundus himself created. And that universe is the same size as the one in real life. And they were flying past distant stars so fast they disappeared, and Dante dodging Mundus's light beams that are moving at light speed. So even though Sasuke and Naruto may be multiple times faster than light to some degree, we're talking about literally interstellar travel type of light speed when it comes to Dante's fighting abilities. So and Vergil is comparable to Dante, so we got to give them the speed advantage as well, and reflexes. Weapons experience, again, while Sasuke certainly carries kunais, scrolls, and his kunais, shuriken in a scroll, paper bombs. He has his sword. Yeah, weapon-wise, Ebony and Ivory, the two weapons he has, and his sword are going to outclass both anything Naruto or Sasuke has. Then you have Vergil, who wields Yamato, which can actually cut through dimensions with enough power in the strike, mind you. Experience, these guys are older than Naruto and Sasuke. They just have been doing this longer. They have more battle experience as well. Now, where Naruto and Sasuke do hold at least some edges is teamwork. That they guaranteed work better as a team than Vergil and Dante do, because their relationship is better. Vergil and Dante don't have the best relationship, and that even when they've had to team up, that doesn't mean much in this case. So yeah, they definitely are able to, or will be able to work in better as a team. And then it comes straight down to actual abilities. This is a wash, I think, because you have all the jutsu that both Sasuke and Naruto have. You have Sage Chakra, Kurama's form. You have the Baryon mode, all the Rasengan, Shadow Clone Jutsu, Sage mode, different Rasengan variants, different chakra, including different chakra variants he can use. Sasuke has his Sharingan, his Rin, if we're looking at them at their peaks. Sharingan, Rinnegan, Rin Sharingan. So he has all those abilities. Susanoo, Amaterasu, then all the fire jutsu, the lightning jutsu he has, and summoning jutsu. Naruto has summoning jutsu as well. Whereas Dante, it doesn't immediately come off as someone who has as many abilities. Dante still has every one of those, every one of the weapons that he gained over the years. He has styles, including the Quicksilver, which can literally even slow time down, and it has not been illustrated in Naruto any real time abilities. So time abilities are probably going to affect these guys like they would anyone else. Vergil doesn't have quite as many abilities, but he does have the ability, I think, to not manifest his nightmares, but his nightmares did actually manifest in a game, if I'm not mistaken, and were able to actually defeat one of like the boss villains. Point being, though, he still has space-time manipulation, enhanced durability, after image creation. Both of them can do their double triggers and basically turn into their full double form, so enhance their physicality even beyond that. This is one of those things where this is really just kind of, both of them have some things the others don't. The Baryon mode would actually be one of the few things that would be a legitimate threat to these two, as the way it works is it just every strike literally drains your life force. It can actually just run you dry. That's how they defeated Ishiki, more or less. But that's a last resort move, obviously. These pairs meet in a fight. Who wins? Well, unfortunately, this really just comes down, in my opinion, to the fact that I think Dante and Vergil, whether you want to go with the universal feats or not, and that's the thing. I was looking it up, and it's contested even within the fandom. And I'm sure I'm going to say, no, it's not. Yes, it is. You want to try to argue the universal, hyperversal stuff, fine. But don't just say, no, it doesn't. Don't argue that it's not contested, because I literally looked and found people arguing the fact. Okay, so don't try to argue that it's not argued. That's the I found it, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone who's part of the fandoms, but I found particularly in a couple different fandoms, there are a couple different fandoms where people get really, really adamant about the power scaling, and I hate power. Honestly, I am at a point in doing this series, and honestly, I was at a point probably when I started doing the series, that I hate power scaling, because power scaling means jack all when you really actually. It only works when you can really prove something definitively. When I talk about scaling Goku to a high universal, low multiversal, that's because we have evidence to show his power literally can affect the fabric of his universe and beyond. When I talk about someone being a multiversal or hyperversal individual, I only like Zeno. Again, I use Dragon Ball, but Zeno is not even a Zeno's beyond multiversal. He exists outside it. That's probably like outer or hyperversal, one of the two. But that's because we've seen feats that prove he is on that level. But then you get individuals who argue things like, well, Dante's this because of this and this and this, or Superman is this, or Pennywise. I had one person argue Pennywise is a multiversal being, this and this and this and this. It's like, no one should be able to be. And it's like, okay, does that mean by that logic that the Losers Club are multiversal beings because they beat the multiversal being? Huh? Are the Avengers multiversal because they're able to beat Galactus? Or Kang, who's like, oh god, temporal versal, let's discuss it. It exists within time. Are they that level of versal because they beat that versal level character? Of course they're not. But that's how the writing works. You have to write ways around that. And so just because you can beat someone at that level doesn't inherently mean, and I'm not saying they aren't, I'm just saying it doesn't mean you are that. If Dante or Vergil be a hyperversal individual, that does not mean inherently that they themselves are hyperversal. That is, honestly, because it's a game, they have to be able to beat that individual. And the way I didn't play the game. I can't argue or certain on that. And everyone's going to be like, he's backtracking on his points. Like, I'm not actually. I'm just proving the point. I'm just making my point. Now, again, I didn't pay, and again, I had arguments about whether or not that they were or not. Context is everything, I think, is the big thing. I think that's really what it comes down to. Context is everything when you're talking about power scaling. You can't just scale someone to like a universal level threat because they beat a universal level threat without knowing the context of how they beat it. Did they beat that universal threat with their own just straight power? Then yeah, they themselves are probably a universal being. But did they defeat them using some of their power, but a lot more, but with a plan, trickery, hitting their weak spot or something like that? Well, if that's the case, they're probably not a universal level fighter. Powerful maybe, but not universal. That's where, and I see it again every time I bring Dante into the mix. I do get the Devil May Cry fans getting on my case. But you'll be happy to know I actually think Vergil and Dante actually take this win. Not to say it'd be easy. I think when you max them out, maybe they could hit powers like that, but only in certain context. But even in their base form, they can't necessarily outright destroy the planet, but that doesn't mean they couldn't end the world or end life on the world. They are definitely powerful individuals, bar none. And the fact of the matter is, just physically alone, these guys move faster, are physically tougher, and more durable than Naruto and Sasuke. Unless you max out Naruto and Sasuke from the beginning and have them going all out, Dante and Vergil are just really going to be able to avoid a lot of hits, take a lot of the hits that they do get hit by. I mean, you would have to be having Naruto throwing out like his strongest tail beast, Rasen Shuriken. Sasuke basically bringing out his Susanoo, a perfect Susanoo, and more or less firing like a true Amaterasu arrow, and then hope to God it freaking lands. The only thing that really changes things up here is Sasuke's Rin Sharingan does allow the teleportation or / changing of positions of two objects. More or less lets him teleport. And swap places with something at the same time. So that could be definitely an irritation. Plus, all the abilities the Rinnegan actually allows, including Preta Path to absorb chakra, the Deva Path for gravity control, Azura Path, Animal Path, so forth and so on. So there's that, and then there's Naruto's Baryon mode, which would have to be the most last resort thing Naruto could do, because once he does it, he's only got so much time before eventually Kurama's going to be kaput. So it really just comes down to when they have to activate their trump cards, and do Dante and Vergil have counters for that? And ultimately, the answer actually kind of is yes, they do. At very minimum, using Quicksilver could slow time down for a certain while. He could he could easily kill Sasuke. Naruto might be a bit different because he's wrapped in chakra, but if Sasuke's not in Susanoo, then he could easily be killed with the time freeze. And then I'm sure Dante and Vergil aren't stupid. They would know just by getting touched by Naruto that they would be feeling their life force drain. It wouldn't take long for them to realize, hey, let's not let this guy touch us. And unfortunately, their speed, from what we can tell, is just beyond like a Naruto character's speed. So at least most Naruto characters. Naruto himself, maybe, but uh, mm. but ultimately, it's not. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry, I have a little bit of a pain in my arm here, but no, I'm not having a heart attack. But I don't think I'm having a heart attack. Hold on, let's check. Nope, I'm good. Just a cramp of some kind. No, the point being is that yeah, Naruto was more or less the fastest character at the end of the series. Just because he surpassed the Raikage. Lee just wasn't that fast. Sasuke was relatively equal to him, but I think his speed did outmatch Sasuke's just a little bit. And yeah, when you're into Boruto era, yeah, I imagine he still would technically be the fastest character in the show. And he was definitely moving beyond light speeds, but that's nothing compared to what they're doing. So even with Baryon mode, basically, I keep saying Bayon mode or Baryon. I believe this is Baryon mode. But even with Baryon mode increasing his abilities even further, it really wouldn't matter. I think they just got to stay away from him until Baryon mode burns out, and they're good to go. So yeah, ultimately, I think, and plus they're more skilled weapon users. They actually have firearms. So ultimately, yeah, I would go Vergil and Dante in this fight. This is just my opinion, obviously. Let me know in the comments below if you feel different. And if you do, that's fine. We're all friends here. But yeah, this is my take on this. But let me know what you think. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.